So, super dangerous, scary, earth-shattering Arsenal. Champions-elect, Kenny. Third time lucky, hopefully, mate. 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers, toothless in attack. Neil, first game of the season, mate. I bet you're buzzing to be back. It looked like a carnival atmosphere. We didn't obviously get to see our new signing, Calafiori. However, we did get to see Yuri and Timber. We kept a clean sheet. We see 2 cracking goals, by the way, but wasn't amazing. We weren't great, but we didn't need to be. They're rubbish. Let's be real. How did you see that, mate? And I bet you're buzzing to be back.
Yeah, first and foremost, it was a good tribute to Kevin Campbell today. You know, like we didn't. The fans didn't wait to applaud him. They just applauded him and sang his name for a good couple of minutes, before the actual referee blew his whistle. It was a fantastic atmosphere. You know, a lot of good people at the ground. But when we talk about the football, it was one of those games where I predicted a 2-0, and it kind of went the way I thought it would go. That we'd score a couple of good goals, and that would be comfortable. You're right. Wolves are just not good enough, and then we're going to find that the majority of the teams we play, especially at the Emirates, they're not going to be good enough to penetrate us. And that, if there is suddenly a situation where we are penetrated, we've got a goalkeeper who concentrates now. Aaron Ramsdale, we know that if Aaron Ramsdale's playing, that's not a criticism of him, but does Aaron Ramsdale make that save that Raya made in the first half? I'm not too sure. And in terms of like the volley as well from, I think it was from, volley from one of their subs. Again, he might make the save because he went straight at Raya, but it's all about concentration levels. One thing we got to talk about today is that, for me, I saw a hangover from the Euros. Certain players weren't at their best physically. Declan Rice was one of them. I know you mentioned it on Twitter about, you see something, a stinker and hooked, and he struggled today. He really just struggled with
no, I didn't put the Rice one out, to be fair, I don't think. Zinchenko I did, because I thought...
Did, but
maybe I did. I put so many out today, Kenny, I can't keep up.
Yeah, but one thing about Declan Rice, he struggled, but again, he's only had 21 days.
Oh, I did. I actually did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, well, I don't think you wanted to do that, but it doesn't really matter. Declan Rice struggled today. There's no doubt about that. He struggled. But, Bukayo Saka, it was a Bukayo Saka performance from last season where he's not, finitely at his best, but the little he does is quality, the cross for the Havertz goal.
Oh, that cross and the goal was mad. That was such a good goal, wasn't
it? If you're handing that man of the match awards, you've got to give it to Saka because of those 2 moments of brilliance. But you're not going to give it for his all-round performance. I thought Thomas Partey struggled a bit today.
Oh, he was rubbish. He was the worst player on the pitch, mate. Him and Martinelli was shit.
But there was an instance just before half-time, and then right before half-time when Odegaard was pressing, he wanted Thomas Partey to come with him. And Thomas Partey was, a bit sleepy, and Odegaard had a right go at him and said, "You've got to come with me, you've got to come with me." And then they made up and shook hands. But there's something about Thomas, a bit rusty. Maybe he's feeling a bit physically as well. But we really need him at his best. He's most concentrated. Because I know sometimes he tries that, that pass, tries to beat a man. Keep it so simple, Thomas. You're better than that. Because at the moment, what with Thomas Partey and I want to get to Zinchenko as well, it was giving Wolves, impetus to actually control a bit of the possession. But the thing about it was so well drilled that no matter how much possession Wolves had, they were not going to penetrate us. And that's the positives about today. That's probably the only positive, that we were going to win this game anyway, and we were going to win the game in this manner as well. But Zinchenko, he's really, really thrown his career away because you think about it, he must have impressed the manager in pre-season. He got his start and he threw it in the bin.
He was not good at all. I wouldn't say that. I'll take that back. He was good in moments today. But overall, the guy is not good enough to play for this club. You want to win major honours.
Unfortunately not, because once again, if you want to play the Arteta way, where you don't want to give the opposition any encouragement to get back in the game, you want to be compact, you want to be good off the ball, and you basically want to keep the ball, then unfortunately he's not your man. 2 seasons ago that wouldn't have been an issue because we played differently, and we've relied heavily on the fact that he was an inverted player. But this from last season and carrying on to the first game of the season, the emphasis under Mikel Arteta is to be more compact, make yourself difficult to beat, and don't give the opposition any encouragement to get back in the game. And with a player like Zinchenko, he did that. But then again, people said that Timber looked really good when he came on. But there was an instance with Timber when it's all Zinchenko. And, you know, in injury time, where he tried to beat a couple of people, lost the ball, and Wolves went on an attack. So it's one of those things where you've got to, you know, maybe look at it and think, you know what, Saka played in the final, Rice played in the final, Havertz, got to the quarterfinals. You know, I always say, do you give them 21 days or 28 days? But saying that, my theme for the rest of the season is find a way.
Yeah, find a way.
What's it? We haven't signed a striker. Find a way. We haven't got Marino. Find a way. You know, we've got 4 competitions. You know, it's going to be difficult. Find a way to win them. Find a way. That's how big teams do. You find a way. You know, if we don't get that striker, we're still going to need to score the amount of goals scored last season. We're still going to need goals from Martinelli.
We need more than last season. Let's be real with it, Kenny. Yeah, they scored 5 goals more than us last season.
Exactly.
Haaland was out for 9 weeks and De Bruyne was out for 5 months.
And that's the thing. It's the fine margins. No matter how much we celebrated the amount of goals we scored last season, at the end of the day, the game against Tottenham Hotspur last season, Haaland scored 5 goals. That won him the title. De Bruyne comes on against Newcastle last season in February. First game back. One of his earlier touches, he scores a worldie. So it's one of those things where it's fine margins. But even so, we got to say, well, it's our 3rd year of challenge for the title, which means we're year 3 into our experience, and it's going to get to a situation where fans are going to be looking at the situation and saying, right, we're not about stage 3 or 4 in the process. We're now at the finished article, and that's true. That's one fan who's Arteta fan said that himself. He says that if it doesn't work out, then you know we have to look elsewhere. But it's only game 1. But the situation is that people are going to get their predictors out. They're going to look at the games we have. They're going to be some difficult games, difficult away games starting from next week. Tottenham away, we've won comfortably the last 2 seasons. Man City away, and then we're saying how many points you want to get out of 30.
Plus Champions League kicks in as well next month.
Champions League kicks in as well. And normally we play away from home in Champions League, because if we're seeded, we'll probably get an away game. You know how this works. Although last year, because we weren't particularly highly seeded, we had a home game. But what I would say is that, how many points do you think we should get out of 30? I say 26. If you want to win a title, you've got to get 26. Anything less.
Yeah, we have to. If we want to win this title, we know that the latter stages of the Premier League, we're gonna be there or thereabouts. Yeah,
100%.
Right? But at the same time, when we go 1 win in 7 in November, December, or whatever it was, and Man City did likewise, we didn't capitalise on that. When we lose at home to Aston Villa, and people were saying, "Oh, but we've only lost 1 game in 2024." That's cool, but the season started 2023. Yeah. You don't have to be perfect. I see David Raya and Arteta saying this. You don't. They dropped points in 10 games last season, Kenny. They're nowhere near perfect Man City. The difference is when they flop, we don't capitalise.
Well, and there's the situation. People talk about Man City being this machine, but the fact is that we had it in our hands the last couple of seasons. It was ours to win. Did we have, in the 2 years ago, our difficult game in that running was Man City? And I'm talking about after Liverpool, where we capitulated and found a way to get a point. But apart from that, our only difficulty was Man City. We got thrashed. If we saw off the game against Liverpool, saw a game against West Ham, we win the title. Last season, everyone was saying that we should have gone to the Man City last season, made a statement, rightly so. But the fact we drew the game, it was still in our hands. The fact is, we didn't have to play any of the top teams.
Yeah, and then we go and lose to Aston Villa at home.
And then subsequently won every game afterwards, but it was too late. So it's kind of fun imagine. So you look at it, what's going to make us better? Well, the things that make us better is a striker. But I'm being realistic. I don't see any chance of us getting it, because unfortunately this season is just as much about outgoings as it is incomings. And the biggest two big outgoings we've got to talk about. One's Eddie Nketiah and one's Reece Nelson. They are, how do I say it, from a financial point of view, they are holding up the process, because, again, we want Moreno it seems like we're well apart from the valuation that Sociedad have. But if we were able to get one of those players out, we'll be able to probably have more money.
Yeah, but how have we
to
got
meet
ourselves in a
valuation.
position where we have to get one out to get one in, Kenny?
Last season we spent £200 million. The fact it was always going to be a casualty that
we're not getting any money for our players, but we're buying players and we're buying them on drip and on tap, but we're not getting any tap back because we're ripping contracts up.
Well, yeah, two reasons. Two, you got to remember, what 20 years ago, if you want to go back even further, 24 years ago, the players that we were selling from 99 up until maybe 2011, 2012 were assets. No, 2013, if you include, 2012 assets. Now, since then, we haven't had assets where we can't name our price for the players we want. The players that we're selling aren't going to increase in their wages. They're taking a decrease in wages. So, again, they're hard to move on, especially if they haven't, like I said, met our quality requirements. That's just footballing facts, and that's the problem. We've got ourselves in a bit of a rut where we've got ourselves in a situation where we've placed a lot of faith in certain players. It hasn't worked out, and then we're in sort of a quagmire. Another thing that hurts us a lot: we signed too many backup players rather than players who can actually force their way into the team. And when you have backup players and they hardly ever play, and then you keep on giving them new contracts, and then you give them high wages, and then you try to sell them. They're not assets.
Mate, look at Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood scored a brace on his debut today. The striker that they bought as well, Marseille. Wahi. He bagged as well. They won 5-1 away to the team that finished third last season. Yeah.
Well, is that Girona? Do they beat Girona?
No. Marseille. They played Brest.
Marseille.
They played Brest.
Spain.
Brest. Yeah, they played Brest, right? He scored twice. He scored in 3 minutes on his debut. He scored another one. Yeah. The guy that they signed the other day from Lyon or somewhere, or Lille or wherever, that was the replacement for Eddie Nketiah because it didn't go through, he bagged as well. Against the third best team last season. And this is the thing,
Eddie Nketiah's a backup player, Lee. He's a backup player. He's not an asset.
No, he ain't. But the problem is he's on too much money, Kenny, like most of these players, which is why, Kivior weren't in the squad today. Apparently it was a technical decision. What does that even mean, mate? He's going to leave. We know he's going to leave. But again, nobody's going to hold this club accountable for wasting. Yeah, we ain't paid the 24 million for him. We've only paid a little bit of that money. Plus, we paid him his wages, and he's barely played. Nobody's going to hold this club accountable for that crap.
It's a mentality. You have got the reason why we sign a lot of backup players rather than players who can push for places is that we have a mentality, and the fans are just as much to blame. You can't sign this player because we got Saka. You can't sign this player because Martinelli, and then you can't sign this player because we're blunting this guy's progress. So if you go by those same themes, you can't sign this player because you've got this player, or you can't sign this player because you're on blunt his progress. You end up with backup players who are not going to how to say it, get you any value, and they're going to be difficult to get rid of because they're earning high wages. Now other clubs like your Man Cities,
Mbappe, we can't sign Mbappe because we've got Rodrigo and Vinny.
Liverpool to a certain extent as well. They would, although they haven't made signings before, but the signings that Klopp was making and the signings that Guardiola has been making even today, they are players that will push you for the first team. Therefore, if you do sell them, like Alvarez, you get big money for them.
Yeah, facts. Listen, bless up for your time, mate. I know you had a bit of technical issues getting in, but I'm gashed that you're back. I'm so happy you're back at the games, man. Yeah, nice sunny day, first win. It's going to be a long season, Kenny. It's going to be a very long season.
But let me tell you now, I'm not going to buy into a 38-game season. I want Arsenal to play at least 50, 55
we'll do 60. We'll do 60 comfortably.
Well, if we do 60, that means we're going deep into the competitions, which Arsenal will win. You've got to win a trophy.
We've got 8 in the Champions League standard. 38, so there's 46 straight away, plus the cups. We've got to do at least 60, haven't we?
Well, that's why I say it. Arsenal have to win a trophy, regardless of whether it's the League Cup, FA Cup, preferably Champions League in the league. But there should be no preferences. They're called 4 major trophies for a reason. They're major trophies.
Facts. And on that bombshell, make sure you follow Kenny Chem 1972 on Insta. I'm going to reshare your bits in a sec. Make sure you check out the fan cam from Jez, myself, in half an hour from now. It's currently 6:30 UK time. I'm going to be live on an emergency meeting. And then after that, Barcelona are away to Valencia, 8:30 UK time. I'll be on Lee Reacts for that. But yeah, listen, all in all, we got the job done. Standard victory at home. And we move on to Aston Villa away next week. Big up, Kenny.
100%.
Make sure you follow him on Insta.
I'll tell you what, there'll be no technical issues because I'll probably be on a laptop because I don't know if I'll be able to get
Oh, yeah, you're not going away.
Yeah, so yeah.
Nah, bless.
So I'll speak to you guys soon. Anyway,
Nah, love.
Enjoy
Laters.
it. Nice
Edu
sunny
out.
day in North London, and I'm gonna go to the Crouch End and see what I can fight the week.
Nice. Come on. Edu out. Laters.